So today we invited teen author and comic book illustrator Jonathan Ebel and his mother Ann Ebel to talk with us about his incredible journey as an artist and a teenager living with autism. My first question for you guys is, when did you first start drawing and doing stuff with art?
Basically, he didn't do anything with a pencil by himself until almost second grade.
Right.
So once he started drawing, and he also could get on the computer, he started to realize that he could draw figures. And once he realized he could draw figures, he was off and running there. That was what he did most of his time.
Wow. And since then you've become incredibly talented. Here we have a photo that you drew of Stan Lee shortly after he passed away.
Mm-hmm.
And it's my understanding that he was a big inspiration for you. Why was he someone that you looked up to?
Because he did comic books, and I was just amazed on his comic books. I just wanted to be like him.
Okay.
I wanted to be him.
And you're currently 18 years old,
Mm-hmm.
and you've already published 3 books, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So The Magic Pencil was the first one, and then these 2 came later.
These 2 came later.
This one just released in December.
You were 14 at the time that you published your first book, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
How did you get to that point? How did you put together the book and then decide, I want to publish this and get it out there?
Well, I started off with just inspiration of drawing. Got interested in what I usually do, making comic books, so I can make this whole world a nice place for me.
Oh,
He, since he was drawing so much, and I had people coming over to work with him on academics and drawing, I ran across a kit for making a comic book. And so that told you how to do a storyboard and all that. So his teachers worked with him on how to do a storyboard and come up with a story. And he did a comic book with this story and 2 other stories in it, which is not in print. It's available on the Kindle, but it's not in
Right.
print. And then he did this one, and then we took the book from the other and brought it into these are more children's book formats. And then this one is his last one, but that's how we got started, was with a kit.
wow. So do you ever struggle with writer's block and just the creative process? How do you see a project through? How do you make sure that something gets finished? Because it's a lot of dedication.
Probably what I tend to do mostly, for drawing, for coming up with coming up with this story plot took me a long time to think of what you want to have the characters' details and what their expressions are going to look like,
Yeah.
and all that good stuff. That took me a while to have those pictures, have a picture in my mind what they would look like.
Right. How would you describe your drawing style? Because it's very distinct and unique.
My drawing style is, I wanted to do my own kind of style of drawing, but how I did it was I just drew it on pen and just made a lot of different kinds of my own kind of style, but not Disney style. I just mostly drew a lot of different uniques with characters, their expressions, their happy faces, their cuteness. That's my whole job, is to make the characters cute, come with the artwork like they do with Pixar and Disney.
Yeah. They all have a lot of personality.
Yeah, he's very good at that, and he does. That is his main drive, is to make them cute and very expressive. So he takes Maya classes for animation. When his Maya teacher says you need exaggerated expressions, I always think to myself, why are you telling him?
Yeah. That's
That's what he does. Yeah.
So when you grow up, do you want to pursue a career as an artist and an animator?
Mm-hmm.
Where's your dream job?
My dream job was always wanting to be going to Pixar and make movies of make movies out of my books. I'm hoping when I go to Pixar, these books will become movies one day.
Yeah. I really think you have a shot at it because your art is just so like, it's just so you know what I mean? Like you have a style, and I think some people like spend their whole lives trying to find that, and at such a young age you're already there. Earlier in the interview we said that you have autism. When were you first diagnosed with it, and did you understand what it meant at the time? Like,
It was all new to us too, and he didn't know for quite a while because it doesn't make sense to tell them until they're old enough to really understand. But I knew he was autistic before he was diagnosed, because when he got diagnosed with a learning disability and put in a special day class for kindergarten, I started reading. And the more I read, the more I thought he fit autism, but I didn't see him fitting the requirements. So I took him to be evaluated, and they diagnosed him with autism. But the school district didn't say he was autistic until 4th grade.
right.
But they put him in a school that only took autistic kids, so
Yeah.
I wasn't going to complain. He was getting what he needed.
And for someone who might not necessarily understand how autism works or how it affects your life, like how would you describe it?
Well, for me, for my life, when I was autistic, it was kind of hard to, handle. It was hard to control. It was hard for me to have that autism inside. And it was hard, but when I got through the autism, I thought that maybe since I have such a passion, like a talented and amazement, I thought that could change my whole life from being, well, I realized that being autistic is a good thing, so I can learn all this drawing skills, but mostly kids don't, know how to draw like I do.
Yeah, it's a talent you have, and it comes partway from
Yeah,
your autism.
it's a talent that I have that I'm trying to make these books so kids will think this is just amazing work.
Yeah.
To make them feel like they love me.
Yeah. What are some common misconceptions or like misunderstandings that people have about autism that you see a lot?
Well, for me, I see mostly I see like some like I kind of see like things in my autism, like
You want me to answer?
yes.
Yeah, because I'm sure you've
Yeah.
met a lot of adults that don't understand.
Yeah, they don't understand. They don't understand how he cannot have control of some behaviors, how he can be overloaded, and that makes him do things to kind of shelter himself, and that shelter can be making noises that disrupt everybody else.
It's true.
They don't understand that autism isn't this, that it's, this and this, and some kids have some of this and some of this and some of this and some don't. It's a
Right.
very broad spectrum, and they're all very, very different, just like regular people.
Yeah.
It's not, you can't stereotype them into one thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't even have a special look,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Yeah. So you are in a different position from like someone who doesn't have autism that also enjoys doing art. Do you think your process is different? Do you think that it like allows you to be more creative or creative in different ways than other kids?
Yeah, in different ways. When he draws, he doesn't draw, sketching with a pencil.
Yeah.
He just draws it. He draws a circle, he draws a circle. It's a perfect circle, he just draws it. And if he doesn't like it, he'll put a piece of paper over and trace the part he does and then continue from there. And he likes to spin his papers like this when he's drawing. I don't know what that does, and he can draw it upside down and right side up, and he can be looking at a picture that's like this and be drawing it here because he needs to be close to this.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he just, and he draws his pictures over and over again until I think they're imprinted in his mind.
Yeah.
He thinks in pictures and videos,
Oh,
So he can remember scenes from movies because he can see them in his mind.
wow.
And he knows what his pictures look like, he knows what his characters look like, and he can tell you if there's a mistake on them. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's kind of different.
Yeah, that's really cool. So, I mean, just from what I've observed from like getting to know you two, like, your mom really believes in you, and
Mhm.
I think she just supports your creativity, which I know some kids don't get from their parents. You know, what role do you guys play in each other's lives? Like, how would you describe your relationship? So, I mean, just from what I've observed from like getting to know you two, like, your mom really believes in you, and
Mhm.
I think she just supports your creativity, which I know some kids don't get from their parents. You know, what role do you guys play in each other's lives? Like, how would you describe your relationship?
Well, my relationship has been 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 very successful for a long time. And when I had Mom, I felt like that was like the best thing I've ever had, was being adopted from Mom and taking care of me. The best thing I've ever had was being adopted.
Yeah. So, my job has always been to try to figure out how to help, what he needs. And I found programs to help him with his fine motor skills, and I worked on at home with him. And that's what Spirit rooted. I was just working on letters so he could learn to write.
Right.
And then later we sent him to Linda Moodbell to learn to read and put the two together. But this came out of it. And I lost my train of thought. Yeah, so.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, it means everything to have a parent like you, like, and to have a child like you. That is so special.
Special, challenging at a lot of times, but he's very special. And like I said, I did a lot of reading, and I read some of Temple Grandin's books, and I don't know if you know who she is, but she's a lady who has autism and speaks around the country, and she works in the animal slaughterhouses. She designs the chutes that they walk through, and she can see it from the animal's perspective, and so she designs them so they're not scary.
Oh.
So that even though they're going to a bad end, they're not frightened by
their
the
life
process.
is still
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah. So, and she said, just watch your child and find out what they're good at, and then promote that and support that, and see if you can develop it into something they can use in their life. So that's what I did.
Yeah, and I mean, 3 books out and just these beautiful drawings. I mean, wow. For my last question, I guess both of you might want to answer. What would you say to people that think that kids with autism aren't capable of getting where you are today? You know, becoming a published illustrator and author, pursuing a career. I mean, I think your whole story just shows that it is possible. What would you say to them?
Just pursue what you're good at and enjoy, and support your child in that in whatever way you can. And what would you say?
Well, for me, I would say like keep up the good work.
Yeah.
And
Have faith in yourself.
Have faith in yourself, and don't let anyone tell you that you're special no matter what.
Yeah. Don't let anyone tell you you can't do it.
Don't let anyone
Right.
tell you that you can't do it.
If you really want to do it.
Always believe in yourself.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
important.
Yes.
Not easy, but
It's
important.
not easy, but that is so beautiful, you two. All right. Okay, so anyone that might be watching on our website at home, I highly recommend checking out all of Jonathan's books, and especially this new one, part 1 of his trilogy, The Rise of Pepe. It's about, what is it, an alien that likes to cause trouble, a mischievous character.
It's a space story about a guy who is angry with his family and wants to destroy the planet he came from, and then Pepe is the son of this person that he's the king of that planet, and he runs away from home because he's kind of mischievous and rambunctious and doesn't follow the rules, has very little self-control.
Yeah.
And he gets involved with this other guy, and their adventures go from there.
So yeah, you can check it out on, what is it, tjecomics.com.
Yeah.
Give
And
it
if
a good
you-
review on Amazon.
right. Yeah.
Thank you so much again for taking the time to come. It's such an honor to speak with you too, and just hear your story.
Well, thank you so much for inviting us. We
Yeah.
love to do these kind of things. It's fun, and we
Yeah.
hope that we can inspire some people who have children
Absolutely.
with autism or regular children, to
Yeah.
pursue their dreams.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.